Hey, what's going on YouTube? Uh, this is amfrni. Um, this is going to be my first, I'll call it an attempt at a tutorial video. Um, yeah, today I'm just going to be showing you guys how I usually go through the process of making a boom bap beat. So, the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find a sample. Now, I have a folder of samples that I usually use right here, and it's just got a bunch of stuff that I've collected over the years. Some places I recommend to find samples are just like listening to Spotify. On YouTube, you can use a YouTube to MP3 downloader if you find anything. You just gotta kind of look across the internet. There's so many different resources to find different cool songs, and personally I think the more obscure the sample the better. So I'm just gonna shuffle through some of these samples and see which sample I want to use. Alright, so we found our sample here. I'm actually not really sure where I found this. I'm sure it was off of YouTube or something somewhere. I don't think I've used this sample before, so I'm excited to use it. It's very like majestic and very wavy, and so what I'm using here is Serato sample. It's a VST that you can download. I'm not sure how much it is. It is a little spendy. I think it's about 50 bucks, I think is what I got it for. But it is really useful. So obviously we have our WAV file right here. So Serato sample has this really cool feature where you can just click this button and it'll literally just find samples for you. The way it finds samples is by looking through all the transients in the song. It's not always 100% accurate, but I think it's always helpful for starting to get an idea of what you want to make out of the sample. So there we go. Just have what, like 24 chops automatically. So now I'll just kind of play around and see what I can find. So we have our sample chopped up here. I kind of just breezed through it. I mean, I'm not really looking for anything too crazy here. In order to make the mood a little darker, I'm just going to bring it down a couple semitones. Let's see how that sounds. Okay. I think I'm going to stick with G minor for now. And I'm just going to slow down the tempo a little bit. I want us to take our time with this. And the nice thing about Serato sample is it actually finds the BPM of the sample and automatically connects it to, it like syncs it up to the BPM of the project, which is really nice. So right now we're at 126, so the melody is going to go a lot slower. So now that we got our melody, I'm pretty happy with this. What I'm gonna do now is try to look for some drums. I'm thinking like just some basic trap drums. I think I might want to put a little bit of like some swing on the hi-hats or something, sort of like Monte Booker style. If you guys have been keeping up with the beats I've been uploading, I'm a bit of a fan. Actually, a huge fan of Monte Booker, so and try to mimic his style of drums. Okay, I actually decided to speed this up a bit. I think it just fits it a little better. So what I usually like to do when I'm going for this kind of laid back, kind of like swing in the drums is I'll come over here to the wrench, and in time for the hi-hats, you're gonna wanna play with the shift knob a bit, what it's going to do is just shift these hi-hats just a little bit late, so they're a little bit off the grid. I won't have to manually adjust them like I just did. You just have to turn the knob, which is nice. Alright, I just kind of put together some drums really quick. So what we just have is the hats, hi-hats, and then the clap, of course. And then I just kind of put together a bunch of different percussion instruments. I put another hi-hat in there as well. Just a lot of different stuff to kind of fill it in and kind of just give that like ear candy for the listener. And so for this, I also want to add like a hard hitting kick. Gonna go into this kit from Gami, give it a bit of a boost so it hits harder. The recording for the rest of the video is really laggy, so I'm just going to go through and kind of give you guys a walkthrough of the rest of the things that I did from where I left off. So here we have the drums, and by the way, I also changed up the key. I think I transposed it up 1. And then to accompany the melody or sample, I used Tyrell N6 and 3x oscillator to kind of make some counter melodies to go with it. So this is what they sound like. And I also added some sound effects. So this is what it all sounds like together. And then to add some variety, I also took out the counter melodies for this section. And what I did was I just put the sample and I rendered it as an audio file. And although this looks complex, all I really did was I went here to the left corner, select the chop, and what they have is a bunch of pre-made sort of chops that you can do. So what I did was essentially like chop my sample chop. So I made it even more kind of like intricate, I guess. And I went down here to complex and selected triplet sequence. And so this is what it sounds like. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this beat turned out. I'm a little upset at how the recording was on OBS. I'm still getting used to figuring out how to use it. So hopefully this video was somewhat helpful. Expect for me to upload this beat by itself to YouTube in the future. And I will also be uploading more tutorials in the future. So be ready for that. I guess I'll just play the beat as the outro. And yeah, see ya.